everybody. Welcome to Jeff Living in the Philippines, and yet another amazing video for you to watch whilst your maid is upstairs making your bed and cleaning your dirty scum from the bath. Okay, the title of this video is Don't Listen to Those So-Called Experts. Man up. Do what's best for you. And I'll tell you what's brought this on, really. I can relate to my own experiences here in the Philippines. I've been here 2 years, and, you know, some of these people that you hear on YouTube, especially on YouTube, and especially around the Dumaguete area, and I'm not knocking Dumaguete in any way, but the majority of them seems to come from that area. They all seem to be experts on relationships, Sari Sari stores, don't buy, rent, etc, etc, etc. But when you look at them when their channels were first being developed 2 or 3 years ago, they were all in little rooms, paying small amounts of rent, with a girlfriend, and they're telling you not to get married, etc. And now look at them. Some of them have even got babies. Who wants to change diapers at the age of 70, eh? Not me. But anyway, I'm going to go through some of the things that really annoyed me with some of these people, okay? Now, one man wrote on Facebook, I forget his name, and he was saying that he was scammed, he lost all his money, his Swiss watch he lost his home, he lost everything. And then at the very end he says, oh, she's a transgender, don't trust any transgenders either. So my reply was, and I may have been a bit harsh, but you know me sometimes, I just say the truth. I said to him, well, if you don't know the difference between a real woman and a transgender until they take their knickers off, you deserve to be scammed. And he agreed. Anyway, let's go back to my life when I first came to the Philippines. Before I came to the Philippines, it was in the height of the pandemic. It was very, very difficult to get an SRV visa, and it was all trial and tribulations, and in the end I managed to get one. And when I knew I was coming to the Philippines, I online began the early stage of renting a house in Sohong, in Lapu-Lapu. My partner at the time, who I met online, who I didn't promise anything, she agreed to take the house, sign for the house and look for that. Now, one of my stipulations were that the house has to be near or within travelling distance to Paho, where my partner's family live. Now, the owner of the land, of the house, that lives working in Indonesia or somewhere like that, said, yes, it's only 5 minutes away. Well, I don't think my partner really wanted to say anything against the rental because we've never met her, etc, etc. She was just counting the saucepans and just basically acting on my behalf, which wasn't a good thing for her anyway. She was taking a risk herself. But anyway, when I finally came over and I went into the house, I was not happy. The house was much smaller than I thought. Not only that, but Paho sometimes took an hour to get to by a jeepney. The house was in a gated compound, which I could put my arm out the front door and touch the house in front of me. I don't like living in them sort of places. And even though I signed an agreement for 2 years, I was determined to get out because I don't like paying rent. I don't like paying other people's mortgages for them. So I was in a bit of a dilemma. But for us to go to Paho, especially when it was raining and we had laundry, bags and everything else, sometimes we had to get a taxi. So And in the end, well, every day we had to catch a jeepney into Paho, but if it was raining coming back, we had to get a taxi, because getting in a jeepney at 7 o'clock at night with bags of laundry was absolutely impossible because of the workers coming backwards and forwards, and it was taking over an hour. In the end, I decided that I'm not going to stay there. The house was full of cockroaches. I had cockroaches on the microwave, in the shower with me, sharing my soap. Ants and windows were hanging off. And it was the height. And I'll tell you, I moved in a few weeks before the typhoon in December 21. It was December the 16th when we was hit by the big typhoon. And our roof literally nearly came off. We had no water, no electric, nothing. I was walking across a field to get water by a hand pump. The locals were very good to me. They let me go first and they helped me. But anyway, that could happen anywhere, no electric. But because I was paying $400 a month, or it works out to 20,000 pesos. And the landlord, her husband, wanted more. He wanted 500. So I said, no, I'll give you $400. So in the end, he took the TV away and the washing machine away, which I thought was very good of him. Very big, actually, very big of him. Anyway, it didn't make any difference to me because we had no electric anyway. So that was one thing that I went against advice. People say, don't buy, rent. Well, sorry, it's bullshit. I do not believe, and I've never paid rent in my life, and I will never pay rent, and I will never pay someone else's mortgage. Okay, it's a different situation when you come to the Philippines. But anyway, I was determined to get out. I worked it out that every month I was paying 20,000 peso a month for rent. Not only that, I had electric, I had water, I had security to pay for. And at Christmas we had to give him extra, and I don't know why, because every time I walked past the security gate, he was sleeping all the time. But anyway, when you're in a gated compound like that and everyone agrees, you don't have much choice, really. So not only was that, but all with the cost of the jeepneys, the cost of taxes, sometimes 10 times a month, maybe 400 or 500 peso. It all mounts up. And in the end, I worked out I was paying about 30,000 peso a month, sometimes more. So we looked around, and there was no houses for rent in Paho. In the end, this house came up for sale, the house that I'm in now. It needed a lot of renovation. It was falling to bits, basically. Nothing really worked. Even the toilet doors were falling off the hinges. It was just a mess. But the way I looked at it is, I'm not paying rent. So I bought it. I think I bought it for 2.4 million. And then I renovated it. Now, did I get scammed on this? Yes and no. Not by my partner, because when we went to the solicitor, I got an agreement with the solicitor, and she signed that if anything happened to our relationship, I can stay in this house until my last breath. So I wasn't really bothered. Our relationship was very good. She helped as much as she could, because she was learning as well as much as I was. She's never been in this position where she's had to renovate a house or anything. So we learned by our mistakes. Now, when I say scammed, possibly, during the renovation, the workers that we had, I think they overcharged us on some things, and maybe materials or labour. But the problem was, it was the height of the pandemic, and it was very, very difficult to get carpenters to do any work. So I was lucky to get this team, but I think I might have paid over the odds. But anyway, the way I looked at it is, I was saving 30,000 pesos a month. All right, it may take, I don't know, 10, 12 years to get my money back for what I renovated this place for, but it's worth it because every month the money that I get in my pensions is in my pocket. I don't get a knock at the door every last day of the month saying, can you give me my rent? I just do not like that. Anyway, so I went against everyone's advice about do not buy, rent. Well, sorry, I done what I thought was best for me, and buying this place was the best thing for me. It's literally 5 minutes walk from my partner's family. It's the same to the bank. I can look out of my top window and see Metro Super Mall across the road. If I want a loaf of bread, I can walk across there and within 10 minutes I'm back. So yes, it's in the city. It's not in the province or anything like that. I did not want to move out into the province. So I'm happy where I am and I'm glad I bought. So there are agreements that you can arrange with the solicitor about ownership. You just have to look into it and ask. Anyway, the next thing, Sari Sari stores. Her mother has had a Sari Sari store in a squatters area for donkey's years. The squatters area has been there for 40 years. Her mother has had the shop for maybe 20 years. And at the back, she's also got a house that she's had for more than 30 years. She was one of the first to move into the squatters areas. Now, there's over 400 families in that squatters area now. And they're not just going to up and tell them all to go overnight. So that could be there for another 40 years. Anyway, getting back to the Sari Sari store. Her mum is getting on a bit. So it was suggested that my partner take the store over. Now, she wanted 50,000 peso to buy the stock from her mum, which included beer, groceries, etc., etc. She asked me if I could help her out. I agreed. And I agreed to a bit extra because she also wanted to do some loans, small loans for people, because where the shop is situated, it's next to a chapel. So when there is a wake, she stays open till 10 o'clock, even later, because people are buying beer and stuff from her. Not only that, there's two factories, one gardenia in the same road, and there's a flour mill further down the road. So she gets a lot of their workers at the store as well. And anyway, I agreed. Did I get scammed? No. Why? Because she said she would pay me back. And you know what she done? From the first day that she went in that store, and sometimes she starts work at 8 o'clock in the morning and sometimes doesn't come home until 10 o'clock in the evening, 6 days a week, as we arranged to get at least one day off. Every time she came home, the first thing she did was give me at least 300 or 500 pesos every night. And I kept a record of all the payments that she made to me. And now she is debt-free from the store. All the money that she gets in the store is hers. I don't have anything to do with it. So, did I get scammed? No. Did I help her out? Yes. Why? Because we're partners. And that's what partners do. But she didn't scam me because she said she was going to pay me back. Okay, she may not have paid me back, but then I wouldn't have done anything else for her after that. But she did. She paid me every peso back and I kept a record. And now she can do whatever she wants with the profit. And a lot of it, she helps her family out. So, is a Sari Sari store a good business? If it works for you, why not? All these people that say, don't buy a Sari Sari store, do they have one? No, they don't. They just tell you, don't buy a Sari Sari store. Why? Because they've heard it or been told it by somebody else? Don't give a toss what these people say. If you want a Sari Sari store, even if it's just making 200 pesos a day profit, and you will make profit, because we go to a shopping place where everything's bulk, and you just add 1 or 2 pesos on every item. Sooner or later, you're going to make. And if your partner or wife or girlfriend wants to work in a Sari Sari store, let her. Well, there's no skin off your nose. Or are you one of these guys that want to walk around with your little 19-year-old chick on your arm, hand in hand round the market, staring into each other's eyes, and you're spending all your money on her? That's a scam. Anyway, the next thing after that, we bought a piece of land in the squatters area, and someone made a comment, why the hell do you want to buy a piece of land in a squatters area when you don't have title deeds? Very true. But did I listen to that person? No, I did not. We bought a piece of land in the squatters area that had rooms on it for rental, but due to the typhoon, which was nearly 2 years ago, they don't have the money to repair. So we bought that little piece of land, and it cost me 135,000 peso without a title deed. But we did go to the barangay with the previous or the current owner, and we got all the documentation done in the barangay to say that that piece of land now belongs to us. Now, I had to invest a little bit of money to get it cleared, and in the end, we built 11 rooms out of concrete. Not concrete on wood or bamboo, all concrete. And I will show you the pictures of the rooms now. Excuse me. Okay, they are the rooms. There is 11 rooms in total. There are 6 small and 5 big. The small rooms are 2,500. The big rooms are 3,000 per month. They pay for their own water, and because I have a meter, and they pay for their own electricity that I read every month. Now, people say, why did you buy a piece of land but don't have a title? Why? Because I wanted to. Because I could see the potential. I did not listen to these so-called experts who rent their own house and don't even have a rental room themselves to manage. So how the hell can they say, don't do this and don't do that? Every month from that rental rooms, I receive at least, 30, when the rooms were finished, in less than a week, we had every room occupied. And we think we started in October, November. Every month I get 30,000. Not only that, they pay for their own water and electric, which I work out every month, and they pay on top of their rent. Now, since we've rented those rooms out, I have received nearly just over 200,000 peso in rents. That has paid for the land that I paid. Now, even if the squatters area is there for the next 4 or 5 years, I will get my money back. But was I scammed? No. Why? Because that rent from the 11 rooms comes to me. It was a loan. Again, a loan that she promised to pay back. But she's not paying it back in such, I'm just taking the rent. What happens? The tenants go to the Sari Sari store, which is within 30 meters away. They pay the rent. She brings the rent home to me in the evening, and I log it on my laptop, and I take the money. So I get the money from the rental rooms, maybe for the next 3 or 4 years until it's paid up. So I get my money back. Okay? I get my money back. Now, we've also bought a 200 square metre piece of land in Cordova. Okay, I paid cash for that. But we don't intend to build a house on it yet because she wants to give up. At the moment, all my pensions are tied up with universities. But she's at the store all day. She eats her breakfast, lunch and dinner down at the store. She buys it from one of the local vendors, maybe for 100 peso. I have an apple or so for lunch and I cook myself some vegetables in the evening. So we don't spend a great deal on shopping. But we don't intend to start building a house for another 2 or 3 years because we're both going to save up for that. When she's going to give up the store eventually, then the rental money will go to her and, well, us, and I'll have my pensions, and then we will start saving up to build a house. So basically, I've done everything against the advice of these so-called experts on YouTube. Now, let's just go back to these so-called experts. Relationships. You could be in a long-distance relationship with somebody. It happens. I could be in a long-distance relationship with someone in America or Africa. Does it matter? The Philippines have got this in thing that when they ask for money, it's a red light and it's a scam. Relationships is a strange thing. It's how you feel between the two people. If you want to send your girlfriend or partner a bit of money, then why not? What is the harm in that? If she writes to you and says, I've got my brother's birthday coming up next month, could you help me out a bit? You could send her a couple of thousand peso. It's not 200,000 peso. But what would you do if you had a girlfriend in your home country and she said, well, it's my brother's birthday next month and I don't have much to buy a lot of stuff for it? You would say, well, would you like me to help you? Don't give a shit about what other people say. Obviously, don't send thousands upon thousands upon thousands. But if you've been in a long relationship online with a girl and you trust her to a certain extent and she trusts you, a couple of thousand doesn't make any difference, does it? And when you come over and you finally meet her, if you feel that it's not working out, tell us. Say, sorry, this is not working out. It's not good. Or if you come over and she says, oh, can you buy my brother a motorbike? Man up and say no. Just say, sorry, I don't have the money at the moment and it's too early in our relationship to start doing these things. Say no. Don't take any notice what these people say on YouTube, because when you go back to the very beginnings, they were all saying you don't do this, don't do that, and what are they doing? They're doing the complete opposite now. All I'm saying to you is you can say no. Whatever you want, you can say no. Same as me. If I didn't want to give money for the Sari Sari store, I could have said no. If I didn't want to give money to the rented rooms, I could say no. But she's paying me back. This is the decent thing about it. Any relationship could go wrong. Do you go into marriage, whether it's here in the Philippines or in your home country, with the idea that 12 months down the line, the marriage could end? So what's the point of buying stuff? You may as well just rent. Let's rent, because I think in 12 months' time, you may leave me, or I may leave you in 12 months' time. So let's just be careful. Let's just rent at the moment, okay? You can't go out for a relationship like that. Now, if you want to come to the Philippines, if you're young and single and you want to play the field, travel, do this and that with different women in the bars, that's entirely up to you. If that's the way you want to do it, fine. But some of these older guys in their 60s, 70s come over to the Philippines with the idea that a nice 20-year-old girl is going to be holding your arm, walking around the shopping malls and everything else, and you're going to be on cloud nine, and she looks into your eyes and say, will you buy me a diamond ring? And you say, yes, dear. That's not a scam. That's you being taken for a friggin' idiot because you don't have the balls to say no. You cannot blame any person in the Asia or in some other countries trying to get what they can out of you because they have nothing. They are poor and they see you as a meal ticket. They see you as a travel sponsor. They see you as a provider of everything. But you can say no. That is what I'm trying to get to you. You can have a very happy relationship here with a woman who will sooner or later get the picture, won't ask, and you'll be happy. But some of these, I'm really sick of these experts. I don't bullshit anybody. What I say on my videos is fact. The fact is, I don't get money from YouTube. I don't have enough subscribers. I don't earn 1 peso or 1 penny from YouTube. I do it because I like doing it. If eventually in 25 years' time I start getting some money, then we'll see what happens. But at the moment, a lot of these YouTubers use clickbait for you to view them on relationships. And let's face it, if the thumbnail shows a sexy young girl laying on the beach, you'll click on it because your hormones start playing up and you start feeling a bit funny and you have to click on it. If it was a picture of a cat in the Philippines, you wouldn't even bother. But some of you guys, you live in a dream world. But like I said, and my cockle's playing around, but like I said, look at all these YouTubers years ago, what they had. They had nothing. And it's for people like you that are building up their channels and channels and channels, that they're now moving into big rental houses, big cars, young girlfriends, married now with children. It doesn't have to be like that in the Philippines. It doesn't have to be like that. I'm not married in the Philippines. I've got a partner. And if I want to say no to something, I say no. But I would never take the advice of any of these idiots on YouTube that have no experience themselves, or they're hypocrites because they've done the complete opposite to what they tell you. And if you look into their channels, you'll find out what I mean. Anyway, that's the end of it. I hope you've enjoyed it. The maid will be finished now upstairs. Please like and subscribe. I always forget it. That's probably why I don't have many subscribers, actually. But anyway, man up, boys. Man up. Say no. It's like this guy that lost his Swiss wristwatch. How did he lose it? Did she steal it? Then phone the police. Or did he give it to her because she was standing there half dressed and she said, oh, I really like that wristwatch. It would really be nice as a present for my father. And you say, Al, give it to your father. I don't need it. All you had to do was say no. Go away. No, it's my wristwatch. Go and buy your own. Man up. Regardless where you come from, man up. Please like and subscribe. And then I will be encouraged to make you another fantastic video for you to watch while your maid is preparing your dinner. Take care.